So our next Camp Kindle craft is needle felting. This is perfect for winter. It's so cozy, it's really simple, and it's a lot of fun. So we're going to be making needle felted hearts. I thought this was a really simple way to get started. There's really no right or wrong way. They're all going to turn out a little bit differently. And you can pick the size and the shape that you want, but it's something we're all familiar with. That's very easy and very cozy and hygge. And then once you learn the basic techniques from this, you can go on and create other needle felted creations. So we're just gonna put these here, and these are the supplies you're going to need. So this is a felting needle. This is the really basic model. They also have some with handles on the back. Then you're going to need some roving. They make, the traditional roving is wool, but they also make synthetic roving. And you're gonna need like a foam cushion to go in the back as you stab the needle through, just so you don't ruin your table or punch your hand or anything like that. So you don't need very much roving. Let's see, this is probably even still too much. So the one thing to keep in mind is it is going to shrink, compress, because what we're doing is we're pushing the needle in over and over, and that's going to compress the fibers and make them stick together. So you want your wool to be a little bit bigger than your overall. I think this would be a little bit bigger than these, so I'm just going to take off a little bit more. Just kind of pull it. Then I'm going to roll it kind of like you would clay. Kind of start to form it, and then just pinch it. That's why I picked this one. It's super easy. So this heart may end up a little bit bigger than these, but I'm just going to start with this one. So I've pinched it in half. It's a snake that I've pinched, and I'm holding it here, and then I'm going to turn it, and I'm just going to stab this part. Sorry if the camera shakes because I'm stabbing here. So what this is doing is this is connecting the fibers, and I'm just doing the bottom of the heart. The top part I don't want to be connected. So it doesn't look great yet, but that's the first step. This part's starting to connect here. Then you can kind of lay it on its back. You can see the heart and start to stab. Oh, there comes the light through my blinds. It's been so wintry and cloudy, I didn't expect that. And it's going to go away for us. So basically, you keep stabbing and shaping until you get the effect that you want. So I'm going to start, you're going to also stab these areas, but you don't want to stick them to each other. So you just keep placing the wool how you want. Just be careful not to stab your fingers. And just stab over and over and over and over. This is pretty much it. It just takes time to get the shape how you want it. And I want to say when I did these two hearts, it took me about 20 minutes, I think, of stabbing. Because I did one as a stop motion, so I had the camera kind of timing it. I'm not sure how long it took me to do the first one. It might have taken longer because I was still learning. So I know you don't want to sit here for 20 minutes and watch me stab at this wool, so I'm going to put this into fast motion for you, and then we'll have a little chat at the end. So it's kind of up to you when you decide to stop. The more you stab it, the more tightly formed it will be. It also can create these little lines through it sometimes, depending on how you have shaped it. And what I've found is that if you just kind of drag your needle across, you can kind of minimize that line, and then just stab again lightly to make sure everything's sticking together. So these are down to fine tuning now. I do find that this slightly larger heart is a little bit harder than these tiny ones. So when you're first starting out, less wool is for the best. You'd kind of think it would be the other way around, but I guess there's just more to stab and there's more wool to kind of be unruly for you. So it doesn't take very much at all. And then you just keep poking at it until it is the shape that you want. So that's the basics. You can kind of keep working on fine-tuning the details, but it doesn't have to look perfect. The idea is that they're homemade, cozy little hearts. And after you've learned the basic techniques, you can make this into any shape you want. You can also use styrofoam as a base. So if you're going to make something large, you probably wouldn't want it to be solid roving. So you can use like a styrofoam ball or a styrofoam block and cut it to the shape you want, and then wrap this around and kind of embed it onto the styrofoam. So that's another way to do it, and I can't wait to see all of your little felted hearts and your little felted creations. So be sure to share them in the Facebook group and on Instagram using hashtag #WeAreTheKindles, and I'll see you at camp next week. Cheers!